What really hooks a man's heart and makes him stay? It's not just beauty, it's not just the way you laugh or the way you dress. It's deeper, it's quieter, and it's more powerful than he ever expected. Queens, listen closely. A man is not drawn back to noise, to chasing, to pressure. He returns to peace. He returns to the woman who made him feel like home. The woman who didn't just touch his body, but reached something in his soul. The kind of woman who doesn't beg for his attention, but makes him crave her presence when she's not around. That's the truth most don't understand, and that's where your power lies. He may be entertained by the loud, the new, the temporary. He may get distracted by easy affection. But when the games are over and the silence grows loud, his heart starts searching for something real. He starts remembering the way your voice softened when he was tired, the way your energy calmed the storms inside him, the way you saw through his confidence and into the part of him he never shows anyone. That's what hooks a man's heart and keeps it tied to yours, even when he walks away. A man is not held by hands, he's held by how you made his soul feel safe. That's the truth. Not spoken in fairy tales, but proven in real relationships. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't chase the ship. It just stands, shining through the fog, guiding the lost back home. You don't have to run after him. You don't have to bend, break, or become less of yourself to win him. You just have to stand in your truth, shine in your power, and trust that what is real will always recognize where it belongs. At first you may feel overlooked, replaced, questioning what she had that you didn't. But darling, don't you see? You were never meant to compete. You were the lesson. You were the calm after every storm. And no man forgets the woman who gave him peace in a world that only knows chaos. Now listen, Queen. Yes, Queen, because that's what you are becoming. You are not the girl who waits by the phone. You are not the woman who fights to be seen. You are the force he never understood until he lost it. You are the presence he will look for in every other and never find again. So here's your truth. You don't chase. You don't plead. You attract. Through your grace, through your boundaries, through the way you carry yourself, like the crown never slipped. Because what really hooks a man's heart isn't loud. It's the quiet confidence of a woman who knows she's enough. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. I don't chase, I attract. I reign. And if this message reminded you of who you are, like this video and subscribe. We are here, building strength, love, and truth, together. Number 1. He can't forget the woman who saw his soul, not just his smile. Have you ever seen a man look confident on the outside but carry chaos in his eyes? He laughs, he talks, he moves through life like everything's fine. But deep down, he's searching for someone who truly sees him. Not just the version he shows to the world, not just the surface, but the real man underneath. The one with fears, insecurities, unspoken dreams. And when you looked at him, you didn't just see his smile. You saw the truth behind it. You didn't fall for the mask. You fell in love with the soul behind it. And that's something he will never forget. A man doesn't remember the loudest woman in the room. He remembers the one who saw him when no one else did, who sat with his silence, who understood his heart without forcing him to explain it. That kind of presence doesn't just fade from memory. It stays, it lingers, it echoes in moments of stillness. He may pretend to move on, he may hold another hand, but in the quiet, he'll miss the woman who made him feel safe to be soft, safe to be real. Some people look at your face, but the right one looks into your soul. That's the kind of connection that hooks a man's heart. Not because you tried harder, not because you chased, but because you were still, calm, and real. You were the mirror he didn't expect, one that didn't show just his image, but reflected his truth. And when he chose distance, That mirror shattered for him, not for you. Think of a deep ocean. It doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't try to prove its depth. It just is. And only those brave enough to dive in truly understand its beauty. You were that ocean. He swam in shallow waters after leaving you, and now he wonders why he still feels empty, because no one else ever made him feel that seen. And now, lovely woman, here's where you rise. Because you are not just any woman. You are the woman. The one who left an imprint on his soul that no one else can match. The one who didn't fight to be loved. You simply loved from truth. You weren't trying to be unforgettable. But now, you are. Write this in the comments, queens, and claim it. He will always remember how I saw his soul. Like this video and subscribe, because we're building a world where you are not chasing hearts. You're making hearts remember. We are working hard to bring you life-changing truth, and this is your time. Number 2. The one who didn't beg becomes the one he chases. Have you ever noticed how the loudest woman in the room is rarely the one he remembers when the night is over? It's not always the words, not the crying, not even the pleading. It's the one who walked away quietly, with her pride, her power, and her peace intact. That's the one who lingers in his memory. That's the one who hooks his heart without even trying. Because the truth is simple. The one who didn't beg becomes the one he chases. He expected you to fight for him. He thought you'd ask why he changed, why he left, why he chose her. He waited for that late-night message, that long paragraph, that tearful voice note, but it never came. And now, that silence speaks louder than any words ever could. What he didn't realize is that the woman who doesn't fight to stay in his life becomes the one he fights to get back into his life. That's the shift. That's the hook. A man only runs after what walks away with dignity. That's your power, not your sadness, not your longing, but your refusal to beg, your calm detachment, your quiet decision to say, if I'm not chosen freely, then I'm not staying. Think of a rare painting in a gallery. It doesn't call out for attention. It doesn't shout. It just is. Undeniable in presence, still in silence. And people stop. They stare. They come back again and again because they can't shake what they saw. That's you. He may walk past once, maybe even twice, but your presence, it lingers. Your absence, it haunts. And now, lovely woman, this is where your crown comes in. You are not just a girl hoping to be loved. You are a woman who knows she is love, a queen in the making, and queens don't beg for thrones, they build them. When you stopped chasing, he started remembering. When you stayed silent, he began to compare. And when you disappeared, he realized, no one holds him the way you did, without even touching him. So let him chase, let him regret. Let him whisper your name when he's alone with a woman who will never understand him the way you once did. Because you're not running after love anymore. You've become the very thing that draws it in without saying a word. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. I don't beg, I become unforgettable. We're here, building strength, truth, and royalty, together. Number 3, he remembers the peace more than the passion. Have you ever noticed what he remembers after the heat fades? It's not the late-night calls filled with passion, or even the way your hands felt in his. It's the stillness, the calm, the soft space you created where his walls finally came down. Passion might excite him for a moment, but peace. That's what he keeps chasing long after you've gone quiet. Because, Queen, here's the truth most never say out loud. He remembers the peace, more than the passion. He could be surrounded by noise. He could be living in a whirlwind of attention. But when the excitement dies and the crowd fades, his heart starts searching for something steady, something real. And what does he think of? He thinks of the woman who didn't need to prove anything, the one who listened, the one who gave him peace in a world that only knows chaos. That's what hooks his heart, and that's what keeps it tethered to you, even in your absence. There is no force more magnetic than the woman who brings peace to a man's storm. Not comfort that begs for validation, not love that competes for space, but a soft power, a quiet strength. That's you. You were his home in human form, and homes are not easily forgotten. Think of a river. It doesn't shout. It flows. It doesn't force its way. It shapes mountains in silence. That's what your presence did to him. You didn't rush. You didn't demand. You simply existed with grace. And he felt safe. That's the kind of feeling that lingers. That's the reason he looks for you in every conversation, in every woman, even if he'll never say your name again. And now, beautiful lady, this is the moment you rise, not because he finally noticed, but because you finally did. You don't need to bring fire to be remembered. Sometimes it's the calm that leaves the deepest mark. You were not a spark. You were the still sky after a storm. That's why he keeps coming back. That's why his heart can't settle. He's not missing the thrill. He's missing the peace you gave him without asking for anything in return. So walk forward with grace, quiet power, and dignity. You are no longer the woman who tries to be enough. You are the woman who simply is. Let him chase what's loud. You'll be the one he remembers when silence falls. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. My peace is unforgettable. We are working hard to bring you these life-changing truths because queens don't chase. Queens reign. Number 4. He regrets losing the one who loved him without conditions. Have you ever seen a man carry a quiet sadness in his eyes, one he tries to hide but can't seem to shake? That sadness often comes from losing the kind of love he never thought he'd lose. The kind of love that didn't ask him to be perfect. The kind that held him even when he was falling apart. The kind that loved him without conditions. He thought it was normal. He thought it was guaranteed. But now he realizes he let go of the only person who ever stayed, not because he deserved it, but because she loved him anyway. He remembers it in fragments. The way you defended him when others criticized. The way you stayed when he shut down. The way your love never came with demands, only presence. You didn't ask him to earn you. You chose him daily, even when he made it hard. And he mistook that love as something easy to find again. But unconditional love doesn't show up twice. Not like that. There's a quote that says, "A man realizes the value of unconditional love only when he's loved conditionally." And that's the storm he's now walking through. He traded grace for games, loyalty for attention, a future for a fantasy. And now, he's with someone who loves him only on good days, who disappears when things get hard. And in those lonely nights, he doesn't miss your voice, he misses your understanding. That's what hooks his heart. That's why he keeps coming back in memory, even if he never finds the courage to admit it. Think of an oak tree in a storm. Others bend, snap, break. But the oak stands firm. That was you. While others gave up on him, you stayed rooted. You didn't run from his wounds, you embraced him through them. But here's the truth. Even the strongest woman has a limit. And once she's gone, that space can never be filled again. Now, beautiful woman, this is where you become something he'll never replace. This is where you stop asking why he left and start remembering who you are. You are the rarest kind of love, the one who stayed when she could have walked. And now that you've walked, he will feel that loss in every half-hearted hug, every shallow kiss, every moment that doesn't match the depth of what you gave him freely. Queens, hear this. He regrets losing the one who loved him without conditions, but you do not regret loving. You only rise higher because of it. Write this in the comments and claim it. My love was his greatest loss. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building an empire of women who never beg, never break, and never settle. You were never meant to chase. You were meant to reign. Number 5. The memory of her stillness hits louder than her words ever did. Have you ever noticed how silence can echo louder than words? How the absence of a voice, a message, a presence can fill the room more powerfully than 1,000 cries? That's what happens when a woman walks away without a sound. Not because she's weak, but because she's done explaining, done proving, done waiting. And that moment, that stillness, it stays with him longer than any goodbye ever could. Because what really hooks a man's heart and keeps him coming back is not noise. It's the silence that makes him feel what he never expected to lose. He didn't expect you to go quiet. He thought you'd fight, call, beg, maybe even cry. But you didn't. You became still, calm, unreachable. And now, that stillness haunts him. It lingers in the spaces where your voice used to live. It follows him into nights when everything else is quiet, except his memory of you. That's the moment he starts to feel it, the weight of what he gave up. Because the loudest pain often comes from the softest exits. As Seneca once said, fire tests gold and adversity tests the strong. And Queen, your silence is not emptiness, it is power under control. Think of a candle in a dark room. It doesn't shout, it doesn't move, but it changes everything. It pulls attention, it becomes the center. That's what your presence was. And now that it's gone, he notices the difference. He sees the space you filled, and he realizes no one else feels like you. He remembers how you made him feel without saying much. How your presence calmed him, how your energy made him feel seen, safe, understood. And now that you've gone still, that same quiet becomes a mirror, showing him everything he didn't value when he had the chance. But this isn't about his regret. This is about your reign. You are no longer the woman who explains her worth. You are no longer the woman who waits for him to see it. You are the woman who rises without noise. And that, queens, is the kind of woman a man never forgets. That is what keeps him coming back. Not because you chased, but because you didn't. Beautiful queens, write this in the comments and claim it. My silence holds more power than words. We are working hard to bring you these powerful truths. Because queens, your strength is the reason he can't forget you. And now, it's your time. Keep rising, keep reigning, keep glowing. Number 6, he measures every other woman against the one who didn't settle. Have you ever wondered why he keeps circling back in his mind, even if his lips never say it out loud? Why he smiles at her, laughs with her, walks beside her, but deep inside, something still feels missing. It's not always about what went wrong. Sometimes it's about the one woman who never settled, the one who refused to shrink to be loved, the one who walked away when it was easier to stay. That woman becomes the measure, and he compares every woman after her to the fire, the depth, the grace that she carried without apology. It's a quiet truth most men never speak, but it sits heavy in his chest. Because while she may give him praise and she may make him feel important, none of it touches the part of him that you reached. He tries to feel the same pull, the same peace, the same power, but it's not there. Because you didn't just love him, you challenged him. You held a mirror to his potential. You didn't chase, you didn't settle. And that is what hooked his heart. And now, he measures every other woman by the one who refused to lower her crown. Never trade your value for a seat at a table that feeds your doubt. That's what you did. You stepped away from a love that didn't match your worth. And that silence, that strength, it lingers in his memory like a scent he can't shake. Think of fine perfume, the real kind, the one drop that stays on the skin even after the person is long gone. He catches it in a room and it stuns him. That's your presence, that's your legacy in his life, and that is what no one else can copy. You see, queens, yes, now I will call you that because that's what you are. You didn't beg. You didn't stay where you weren't seen. You rose. And now, every woman he meets is a reminder of what he lost. He may never admit it. He may pretend he's fine. But every smile he gives is measured against the one you had. Every touch he shares is compared to yours. And no matter how many hearts he tries to hold, none of them feel like home the way you did. So don't shrink, don't doubt, don't question your choice. You didn't lose him. He lost the one woman who never needed to beg to be chosen. Write this in the comments and claim it. He compares, but none are me. We are working hard to bring you these truths, to help you rise, to remind you, you were never just an option. You were always the standard. Number 7. He'll always feel the absence of a woman who made him feel like a king without ever losing her crown. He didn't fall in love with just your beauty. He didn't stay around just for the way you touched him, laughed with him, or made his world feel less lonely. No, what really hooked his heart was something rarer, something most men never expect but never forget once they feel it. You made him feel like a king. But here's the part that keeps echoing in his soul. You never took off your own crown to lift his. You didn't shrink to build him up. You rose beside him, and that's what made you unforgettable. At first, he may have thought your strength was too much. He may have mistaken your independence for distance. But now he feels your absence in ways he never imagined. Because it's not easy to forget a woman who saw his flaws and still spoke to his greatness. It's not easy to replace the kind of love that lifted him, not with noise, but with quiet confidence, with grace that refused to beg, and with power that didn't need validation. There's something sacred about a woman who gives love without losing herself in the process. That's you. You didn't kneel to love him. You stood tall and let him rise with you. You gave him space to be a man without ever letting go of what made you a queen. And now that you're gone, that balance, that rare, sacred dance, it's something he'll search for again and again, but never find in anyone else. Think of a crown placed carefully on a velvet throne. It doesn't move, it doesn't chase, it waits. And the man who was lucky enough to sit beside it, he remembers. Long after he walks away, long after the distractions fade, your energy lingers. Your absence feels heavier than your presence ever did. That's the power of a woman who loved with strength, not sacrifice. You didn't make him feel like a king by losing yourself. You made him feel like a king because you knew your worth. And now he knows too. But it's too late, because you're no longer the woman waiting. You are the woman rising. So, beautiful lady, hear this clearly. You are not just a chapter he left behind. You are the whole story he can no longer return to. He will feel your absence like a weight on his chest. He will dream of you in silence. He will look for you in faces that will never match your presence. Write this in the comments and claim it, queens. I made him feel like a king, but I never lost my crown. Like this video and subscribe to the channel because we are working hard to bring you these life-changing lessons, and this is just the beginning.